Good evening and welcome to the home of Sydney Olympic for this round 13 clash between Olympic and Sydney United. Two teams at varying stages of the season so far that have topped the table, and that good. Sydney Olympic have only won one in their last 5. Sydney United haven't won for 9 matches. Well, joining us on the sideline is Andy Harper to discuss their form as we close in on the halfway mark. Andy, how do you see their form so far?
I think both teams really on balance would be quite happy with their positions on the table. Naturally, you'd like always, unless you're leading the competition, to be higher than you are. But when you look at Sydney United, the turmoil that's embraced that club over recent years and the job that Alan Hunter's had to do in assembling a competitive unit, I think they've done remarkably well. Sydney Olympic, on the other hand, of course, despite the 3 points that they've lost because of the Carlton fall away, then they'd be sitting much prettier than they are. So I think in playing terms, both sides will be reasonably happy with their performance so far.
Well, why don't we go back to round 16 last season and find out what happened. It was at Edensor Park, and Bersevsky smashed one in the first half to give them a 1-0 lead. And then Ante Juric, who's a driving force in midfield even this year, slotted one right in the top corner. Then he was off to the Belmore Sports Ground. Pablo Cardozo. All these goals were scored in the last 15 minutes, so it was very close indeed. Brett Emerton in the 78th minute, and then it was left up to Nicky Carle in the 86th minute to give a clean whitewash to Sydney Olympic, 3-0. Let's talk about the players available for Sydney Olympic first of all. They've got a few players coming back. There were problems in midfield against South Melbourne last week. Do you think they might have solved them?
Well, certainly they've got a lot of depth in their playing ranks, and a number of players have been injured, particularly midfielders, and 2 real stars are back in contention, Troy Halpin and Krešimir Marušić, both available for selection, and they're 2 outstanding footballers. Certainly will bolster the ranks of Sydney Olympic, there's no doubt.
Well, Franco Parisi made those changes because of that result last week against South Melbourne. Let's have a look at it. Before that, it was a tough 2-2 draw against Wollongong, and a, well, fortunate win against the Canberra Cosmos, 3-2. The players out wide, they're obviously valuable. They love playing here at Belmore as well, don't they?
It's a good amphitheatre, Belmore. You know, it's not the most pretty stadium, but the players seem to enjoy playing, and we can see that after a long hiatus, Troy Halpin, the number 10, one of the most gifted footballers going around, makes a very welcome return. Just on top of him on the playing list is Ante Juric, a captain from whom a lot is expected. He ignites a lot of attack, cleans up a lot in defence as well, but it's the attacking options that Ante gives Sydney Olympic which add so much to them.
Sydney United, well, their last 3 rounds look a little bit like this, and it's something that won't really please Alan Hunter, who had 3 great victories at the start of the season. That 1-1 draw, we saw that, Andy, last week against Newcastle. What were your thoughts? I thought they were dynamite in midfield, especially in that second 45 minutes.
They certainly had a lot of the play in the second half, and they made it very difficult for Newcastle on a couple of fronts. Firstly, Richie Plesa swept, I thought, really well at the back, and his distribution was pretty good. Danny Burt was a rock of Gibraltar, very difficult to get around, but it was their speed in midfield which caused Newcastle all sorts of problems. Tom Pondeljak and Itek Genko, despite his years of 33, along with me, Itek, I thought, was outstanding last week. Throw into that mix, of course, Francis Waratifi, Zlatko Arambašić, 2 very seasoned campaigners, outstanding footballers, and you've got a pretty handy cocktail. I expect Sydney United to give a good account of themselves tonight.
Well, what do you say as we look at the team line-up there? What do you say about their mental approach? Now, they haven't won in 9 games. What would they be feeling?
Well, it's all about momentum, winning games, and they got off to a great start in the season, probably surprised a lot of people, a lot of the so-called experts at least, and Alan Hunter, very ambitious coach, be very disappointed with the fact that they haven't been able to push over the line for wins in recent weeks, but one's not far away, and you'd be really wary not to think it's going to be an easy game against Sydney United.
Well, they are one of the most erratic teams in the National Soccer League. 6 games this season, the lead has changed more than once. Let's go to your match commentator, Mike Cockrell.
Sydney Olympic hope to put an indifferent festive season behind them here at the Belmore Oval in the local derby against Sydney United. Sydney Olympic welcoming back their key midfielder Troy Halpin for the big game against their arch rivals. Tommy Pondeljak very much in form for a Sydney United side which at Newcastle last weekend finally showed signs of recovery. It's been a very poor period for the visitors. No wins in their last 9, and they're up against a team desperate to return to the winner's circle after a loss and a draw in their last 2 outings. It's Sydney Olympic, of course, in their familiar all blue against Sydney United in their red and white strip. And the referee this evening is Simon Micallef, a member of the FIFA panel So the good news, of course, if you are an Olympic fan, is that Halpin returns to the starting 11 and Krešimir Marušić returns after a 7-week absence to take his place on the bench. Just one change made by Sydney United coach Alan Hunter. Cummins Manapi, the Solomon Islands international, drops to the bench. His place taken by Francis Awaratifi. Sydney Olympic also buoyed by the decision from Soccer Australia and the referee to allow Nick Carle to play this evening, even though he is wearing a cast on that left hand of his. You can see him there about to get the game underway. He broke his hand last week in the game against South Melbourne, but he has been able to take his part this afternoon. Augerinos on the left for Olympic. He makes his first start of the season. Indeed, 5 changes made to the squad by Branko Čulina, and I guess, Paul Wade, that says he's not too happy with the way the team has been travelling.
No, he said they lacked a little bit of experience last week. South Melbourne seemed to know when to dive, when to slow the play down, speed it up again. So he is coming to a stage of the season where he needs to get results.
Well, the early shot there from Cardozo tested Tolios, and trying to follow through was Goutzioulis. Pitch in very good condition here at Belmore. As a rather late challenge from Halpin, who probably is just lacking a bit of match fitness. Brings down Webb on that far side of the field. Just a word from the referee. Well, Halpin has had problems with tonsillitis. In fact, it was Gensch who went down. So you would argue perhaps Halpin not 100% match fit, but his importance cannot be understated. Flicked on by Awaratifi, looking for Deur. First touch for Clint Bolton in the Olympic goal. Juric goes long, but it's misplaced straight to his counterpart Richie Plesa. One player, I'm sure, hoping to have a good performance this afternoon. Zlatko Arambašić up against his old club. And I guess, Andy Harper, if you're a Sydney United fan, it's good to see that Awaratifi-Arambašić combination back in harness.
Didn't they start the season well, Mike? And after their first 3 games, I think all the goals had come from them. They were engineering them for each other, scoring them for their team. And look, they're 2 great players and a real asset for Alan Hunter's team.
Olympic come away with the ball. And there's a very strong challenge from Plesa. Cardozo releasing Carle. Carle on the edge of the box, going one way and then the other, can't get past his opponent. Augerinos goes long, the cross had the sting taken off it by Pondeljak, but it's broken now for Halpin. Juric is onside and in space. Looking for the near post, gets it back, cuts it back to Carle, and in the end, Sydney United required some desperate defending from Ante Deur. Go Čulina off his seat. Juric has already shown some signs that he intends to get forward quite often in this reshaped Olympic side. Indeed, Juric is playing in midfield at the moment. That could be a very courageous move from Branko Čulina.
Not a bad one either. I think he's, you know, if he's got to get results, if he really does have to push, because they are sitting on the edge of the top 6 in 5th place, only 2 points inside. Been there for 45 consecutive weeks. They've really got to take the game to Sydney United. And with that lack of confidence, why not put Ante Juric in there? Sinozic at the moment is doing the sweeping. He's doing the organising. I think Ante will do a good job and start to do the captain's job, which is making sure everybody else is doing their job as well.
Here's Gensch moving forward for United. First was Goutzioulis. Good pressure applied on the ball by Olympic, but United have it now through Plesa. Awaratifi. Wilson on his shoulder. Pondeljak looking for Awaratifi. That's straight down the throat of Clint Bolton in the Olympic goal. And now Carle for Olympic. Owens. And the tackle from behind was rather crude from Kain Rastall. Right under the nose of the referee. Disputing that free kick to Olympic. Had a great game in Newcastle last week, Kain Rastall. United showing signs that they have rediscovered at least some of their form, but what they need, of course, is a win. Not only to boost their confidence, but also to boost their position on the table. Currently 5 points out of the top 6, Sydney United. Free kick comes in, cleared by Plesa. Oratifi. Just noticed that Troy Halpin is indeed wearing the wrong number. Normally number 10, he's number 12 on his back at the moment. So jersey usually belongs to Glenmore, so just a little bit of confusion there. Juric. All the way through to Tolios. Has kept his place in this United 11. Alan Hunter swore that he was going to make no changes to his side after the performance in Newcastle. Couldn't resist giving Francis Oratifi a start in place of Manapi, who's done fairly well in recent weeks, so he can feel a little bit hard done by Cummins Manapi. Joined on the bench by Goran Talevski and Terry Palapanis. On the Olympic bench this evening, Marušić, Franco Parisi and Damon Collina.
Ladies and gentlemen, the setting a line of igniting
as well as a 16-year-old goalkeeper, Glenn Moss. Queenslander, who is in his first season with the Sydney Olympic Academy. Cardozo. Augerinos overlaps. Cardozo goes through the middle looking for Owens. Pondeljak was tracking back now, Burt, but he dwelled too long on the ball. It's been stolen by Cardozo, and Pablo Cardozo will be very disappointed with himself. He had a lot of goal to aim at. It was a very good opportunity for a finisher of his quality.
There are a lot of questions being asked during the week about Pablo Cardozo's fitness. Professional footballer. I know Branko expected him to be a little bit fitter than he is. I know match fitness is one thing, training on your own is another. But he's a little bit disappointed with Pablo, and you just wonder, with lack of fitness, lack of shape, whether he might have got that a little bit closer in other circumstances.
Halpin switching play. And he finds Wilson. In the meantime, Oratifi is down behind play as Wilson goes forward. It's going to be a goal kick. Francis Oratifi just holding his place at the moment. And something has happened. A word from the referee. Almost 8 minutes gone in the local derby at Belmore. No goals between Olympic and United. Olympic with a win would be able to force their way up into 4th position on the table. Can't lose their place in the top 6 even if they lose. They've indeed been in the top 6 for 45 consecutive weeks. It is a fairly impressive record. Switching back, of course, to, well, I guess that'd be the season before last almost, Paul Wade. So consistency usually brings its rewards, but Olympic, of course, still looking for their first championship in over 10 years. So it's a matter of pushing over the line, I guess. As more goes forward, that's a poor ball.
That's what it's all about, being there at round 30, not in round 13. And, Branko Collina knows that. We've patted him on the back so many times. His team's playing so much good football. They're the #1 team in the country. He's dismissed it all because he's been there, done that before, and come away with nothing.
Burt now with Plesa. Pondeljak. Arambašić. Turning inside Baillie, he gets the tackle in Deur now. Side to Pondeljak, and it was Arambašić almost forcing his way through just with sheer pace, really. 3 goals for Zlatko Arambašić this season. Pondeljak with the corner. Pushing and shoving going on that goal line involving Arambašić. Trying to wedge himself between the goalkeeper and Scott Baillie as the header came in from Burt, blocked by Juric. It breaks now for Owens. Wilson. Looking to spread it to Cardozo. Rastall was in the way and really allowing play to continue. Burt goes through the middle. Arambašić is onside. An important save from Bolton as Augerinos came through to try and force it home. Well, there is a sign of the speed of Arambašić. Not only the speed, Andy Harper, but the running off the ball. Textbook stuff.
Yeah, but what about the addition of Danny Burt to the attack? He had a great game for Sydney United last week against Newcastle in defence, and that was a facet of the game as he launches Arambašić again that we didn't see a lot of last week, but a great incursion from the big man from the back. Beautifully weighted and timed pass. Of course, Zlatko's run off the ball was magnificent as well. Good passage for Sydney United. They've started well.
Here they come again through Augerinos, but the referee has seen an infringement. Augerinos. Carle. Back from Cardozo, but the pass just slightly misdirected. United have it back through Gench. Misunderstanding now, and Augerinos happy to see that one go over the line. Augerinos in space, looks up. Attacking the near post was Cardozo. Arriving late on the edge of the area was Greg Owens. Well, you have to take your hat off to the man who provided that opportunity, Elias Augerinos. Such a club man for Sydney Olympic. He has had so many knockbacks over the years. He made his debut way back in 1991, 163 games. So that tells you how much time he has spent on the bench. Not even in the squad, in the youth team. He's been released by the club twice. He keeps coming back. He can't help himself. He's been on the bench a couple of times this season, and now he gets the reward of a starting appearance. And if you talk about loyalty in the game, and that's something that people say is absent, you cannot point the finger at Elias Augerinos, an Olympic man through and through. Goutzioulis. Here's Carle. Cardozo has drifted to the right. Showing Webb closing down the space.
Andy, I take your point on board about Danny Burt getting forward, and I was just wondering on that last attack when he did go forward and it did break down, what happens at the other end? And there were so many red shirts. It seems like they've got it very organised in defence.
Well, a good cross here from Pondeljak. The header from Augerinos was on target, but it didn't have the power that he was looking for.
Yeah, I think so, Paul. Look, they've got themselves well organised. I'm not quite sure how much Alan Hunter will be looking for Danny Burt to get forward, but making the most of it when he does. He's got to be measured in the times when he leaves the defensive line, because he does a great job for his team, marking the opposing team strikers.
Carle, the back heel. Goutzioulis onto the right boot, and the shot was always rising, but it's a good feel to this derby game. Both teams committed to attack, and the fans that have turned up, and I have to say it's a little bit disappointing the size of the crowd. Those who have turned up look as though they'll be getting their money's worth. Juric sliding in, gets in front of Pondeljak. Cardozo, that's a good ball to pick out. Goutzioulis tries to chip the goalkeeper. A good idea from Goutzioulis. Audacious.
Audacious indeed, but I tell you what, you wouldn't put it past him. We've seen him score an absolute cracker from that position before, out wide, an outrageous attempt. You would just give him the license to have a shot from there because he's capable of it.
Goutzioulis, whose career began, of course, with South Melbourne in his second season with Sydney Olympic. Clouds starting to gather above the grandstand. Perhaps some rain in the air. A humid day in Sydney. And conditions cooling rapidly, which is good news for the players. And the shot from Juric took a deflection. Tolios getting both gloves to the ball. Ante Juric playing in midfield for Olympic this evening. Here he is again, bringing the ball back. Owens threads it through to Carle on the left boot. And a shot from the right from Carle. We're not used to seeing Nicky Carle use that right foot too often. And in the end, it was just a few anxious moments for Tolios in that United goal. Talked about just starting to fall, and it might be good news for the players, but probably not for sideline commentators, Andy Harper.
I was waiting for you to give me a mention. Thankfully, it's not too heavy on the western side of the ground, although it probably will be before too much longer.
Lights on already at Belmore. Pondeljak turning outside, whips it in, looking for Arambašić. Baillie was there first. Sydney United. Very promising start for them. Haven't won since round 3. It's a long drought for the United fans. But at the moment, anyway, things are looking up. The corner comes in from Pondeljak. It's a 4-1. Halpin easily dispossessed, though, by Burt. Pondeljak has it back. And that has cleared the two players in the middle. Younis, though, has done well. Still battling away, Younis. So too Wilson, who wins it back for Olympic. Pondeljak is drifting from one side to the other. Tommy Pondeljak plays it into the feet of Awaratipi. He's closed down by Baillie. Trying to play it back into the path of Pondeljak. Olympic have it now through Carle. Cardozo. The early cross from Cardozo was disappointing. Skills from Ante Juric. Arambašić. Well, he heard the call to switch it. It was the direction of the pass towards Ante Deur. Owens getting back for Olympic, so never a dull moment with Branko Čulina. Tactically, he just changes things quite often. He's done it here tonight. Some players perhaps playing out of positions, but even those players that are nominally playing in one position tend to bob up all over the park. Greg Owens then back in his own area, helping to defend. Don't
think it's a surprise to the Olympic players. So often they'll turn up for training and everybody will be playing in different positions. I think he likes to keep everybody on their toes and aware of what everybody else's job is.
As that ball come off Younis, he's passed it back to his goalkeeper, who probably wasn't expecting it, Steve Tolios. To rush the clearance, Younis. Another player who's having to adjust to a new role, this one in defence. Still going, Augerinos, and Tolios unable to keep control of the ball. Owens has tried to turn it back towards Halpin, who gets it in the end. Still going, Halpin. Troy Halpin, a good idea. The execution not quite up to it. And credit there to Danny Burt, who came out to try and close him down. He might have done just enough. Baillie heading it back towards Bolton. Had to come right out to the edge of the box. Almost 20 minutes gone, still no goals between Olympic and United. 36 times these two teams have met over the years. Sydney Olympic leads the series with 15 wins, 9 draws and just 12 losses, but it is very close indeed, as you would expect. Francis Awarati, he's had a few weeks out of the starting 11, one through suspension. He spent last week on the bench, or at least he started on the bench. He's keen to find the target this evening. Indeed, Awarati was close to joining Olympic during the off-season. He did have some discussions with the club. And no choice was made. And Sydney United have become the 4th National League club of a very illustrious career for Francis Awarati. Top 10 of all-time goal scorers, 120 goals. He claims, Paul Wade, this is his last season. He wants to enjoy it, he wants to go out, maybe not on a winning note, but at least with some personal satisfaction after, I guess, a difficult season at Marconi last year. Owens takes the shot early across the face of goal. Just a questioning look from the goalkeeper, Steve Tolios. How did Greg Owens get that much space? Pondeljak was the last man for United.
I criticise Greg Owens very often for getting the ball at his feet and slowing down the momentum of attack, but when he makes runs, he times his runs to such perfection. He only needs one touch to put it in the back of the net. Well, I'll tell you what, he'll be one hell of a midfielder in a couple of years' time.
Sinozic. Younis took his eye off the ball and Owens was in quickly. Halpin. Shrug off Gench. And then the second man. Showing Webb. There it is with Goutzioulis. Easy clearance for Plesa. Halpin. Augerinos, tracked by Kain Rastall, who commits himself a little bit early. Good throw to Olympic.
I saw the danger there of what happens when Danny Burt does go forward, and maybe...
Here's Owens, charged down by Sydney United player Tolios. Thought about coming. In the end, he stayed on his line.
Just going back to the tussle between Danny Burt and Nicky Carle. If Danny Burt is going to go forward on a regular occasion, he's got to remember that his job is to defend, and there was an occasion there just a couple of minutes ago where he didn't quite get tight enough on Nicky Carle. Now, if you don't get tight on him, he'll not only tear you apart, but he'll thread a ball through for somebody else to score a goal. So Danny Burt, as Andy, I think, quite rightly pointed out, has got to time his runs, not only time his runs, but timing how often he goes.
Here's Carle. Owens. A tug on the shirt from Deur. Owens still going. Gets the shot. And that's the second time Greg Owens has come close for Sydney Olympic. Well, Andy Harper, you talk about the marking at the back, but it is very difficult the way Olympic play. They've just got such interchanging of positions, if you like. Owens, Carle, Cardozo, Halpin, Goutzioulis, they're all pushing forward at various stages, and I guess for a player like Danny Burt, it's quite confusing.
Well, it's not just Danny Burt, and it's the beauty about Sydney Olympic is the fact that so many players in their team have got the ability to beat their immediate opponent one-on-one with the ball at their feet. We've seen it the last 2 or 3 attacks. Greg Owens made space for himself there for a shot. Troy Halpin a couple of minutes earlier. Pablo Cardozo very adept at it. Nicky Carle, etc., etc., etc. So you can organise your people in the right spaces, but actually getting them to defend one-on-one against these sorts of players is very difficult indeed at times.
Pondeljak quick enough to keep it in. Still going Tommy Pondeljak, but he's left it behind the intended target. There's Juric and Burt clatter into each other. Juric has just stayed down momentarily. Wilson has gone forward looking for Carle. Desperate defending from Rastall. An important interception indeed. Tifi. And down he goes. Tackle came from Sinozic. A glance at the referee by Tifi. Simon Micallef unmoved. Plesa trying to play it into the feet of Arambašić. Juric is in the way. And here comes Lindsay Wilson. Younis is quick enough though, but Wilson still making life difficult for him, and he's won it back. Good play here from Wilson. Goutzioulis, just through dogged persistence really, has won the corner. Shane Webb asking the question of the referee, was there an infringement? The referee says no, in fact it was Gench. The decision's been made and it's in favour of Olympic. Halpin to the edge of the box. They haven't picked up Carle. And a shot from Carle. Never really threatened the goal. Carle and Greg Owens fly to Canberra tomorrow to join up with the Australian under-20 side. The young Socceroos preparing for a 2-match series against the youth team of Glasgow Rangers. Very impressive Australian youth team it is as well. 9 players have come back from overseas. And the likes of Carle and Owens very much with the World Youth Championships on their mind. Tournament to be played in Argentina midway through this year. Of course, Australia have to qualify first. Deur. And he's got past Sinozic. He's whipped the ball in, almost connecting with the head of Tifi. He's been a huge improver for Sydney United, Ante Deur. NIS graduate, so many of our best players. Deur, after a couple of years overseas, I think it was in Croatia, in Australia, and really starting to have an impact. Arambašić. Pondeljak just wanted to get that one under control and wouldn't sit up for him. Augerinos. And the two number 17s collide, and this decision will go in favour of Olympic. Awaratifi judged to have been a fraction late by Simon Micallef. Just as he released the ball, Augerinos whacked it into the ground. Seen the adjustments made constantly by Olympic. Now Lindsay Wilson is starting to push forward. He started as a marker at one stage, or he's spent a lot of the early part of this game as a marker. Now it's Augerinos tucking in instead. There's Branko Čulina. Well, love him or hate him, Paul Wade. Very, very astute coach.
You expect the unexpected when you play against Franco Collina's team, because he'll be thinking about your strengths and your weaknesses, and then he'll think about how he's going to expose them. So you've got to almost try and double guess him. You've obviously got to find out or think about your strengths and weaknesses, and then think about Franco Collina and what he'd do. And after you've done all that, you still might get it wrong.
And it comes from Webb. Arambašić looking for the spectacular. Get the connection. Rastall chips it to the back post, and down goes Gench, I think it might have been. He's asking the question, Andy Harper.
Well, he's certainly asking the question, and if facial expressions count for anything, Itek's adamant that he was impeded, his progress was impeded. Pitch is a little inconclusive. But perhaps Olympic a couple of minutes earlier should have had an opportunity to clear the ball from a free kick. Zlatko Arambašić attempt at goal you called as being spectacular, perhaps high feet. So all these things tend to even out. But certainly on the picture that we see again there, Itek's very adamant of the fact that he was impeded.
Plesa. Took out by Halpin. The early pass. Asking a lot of Pablo Cardozo, too much in fact. Cardozo still looking for his first goal in his third stint with Sydney Olympic after an unhappy spell with Athinaikos in Greece. He has signed on until the end of the season. Cardozo with over 60 goals for Olympic in the previous 3 seasons. Did have talks with the Parramatta Power. Chose to come home to Olympic. It really is a very deep squad that Olympic do have. Čulina always playing the psychological card, talking about the players he doesn't have available, but what he doesn't spend a lot of time talking about is the players he does have available. And in the youth league tonight, we saw the likes of Paul Carle involved. Many others as well. Many other players of first grade experience. Glenn Moore was there in the youth league as well. Massar, Peter Zorbas. So those sort of players are in your second team, Paul Wade. You can't be doing too much wrong.
No, he's had these complaints about lack of depth. Well, certainly after getting Pablo Cardozo and a couple of other players coming back from injury, he's got a bigger problem now. Who to select? Now he's got them all available. It's up to him to select the right ones in the right places.
Just over 11 minutes remaining in this first half. We're still waiting for the first goal. No denying that both teams are pushing forward in attack. A very entertaining local derby, but still nothing to show for the efforts. Baillie wins it in the air, strong challenge. Likewise, from Gench, now with Goutzioulis. But he's handed it back to Arambašić. Arambašić ridden into the ground fairly by Lindsay Wilson. Good recovery from him. And the pass is just starting to go astray for Olympic at the moment. You just get the feeling it's a bit of a gamble from Branko Čulina to play Troy Halpin this afternoon. He, in all fairness, does look a bit short of match fitness.
Yeah, but it's a gamble you'd willingly take with a player of his quality. I've been fairly impressed with his contribution so far, and the noise is coming from the Sydney United bench, at least, that he's one of the players that Alan Hunter appears to be most concerned with.
Oh, challenged by Burt. Goutzioulis there. I thought it was a free kick. The referee had a different opinion. Rastall. Working the angles with Pondeljak. And the cross from Rastall was disappointing. Full-blooded commitment there from Sebastian Sinozic. Halpin. Wilson wanting to go on a run. He's got the space on Shane Webb. Comes inside, waiting for the support to arrive. It arrives eventually from Owens. In the middle is Goutzioulis and Cardozo calling for it deep. Sydney Olympic now with numbers behind the ball. The momentum has broken down somewhat for Olympic. Baillie trying to switch it to Cardozo. He does get there in the end. Waratifi turns away from Baillie and draws the foul. Yes, clearly catching the ankles there, Scott Baillie. Well, two Sydney United players in particular hoping for a victory this afternoon. Tommy Pondeljak and Richie Plesa, who share the same birthday. They both turn 25 tomorrow. I'm sure they'll enjoy themselves a lot more tonight with a victory, but it's going to require something special. Greg Owens there. Again, the player who is putting the pressure on Tolios in that United goal, but again, he just can't find the sort of accuracy he's looking for. Credit to Greg Owens for getting into those sort of positions, Paul Wade, but his finishing just a little bit off key.
Yeah, hopefully it'll come, you know. Maybe, you know, you get that rush of blood, and remember, he's only young, he's only playing his first season, so I guess we've got to be a little bit patient, but it's something that he's got to work on, and got to work on very quickly, because the runs are superb there. They're so direct. He demands that ball. It's almost as if the guy on the ball, if he doesn't give it to him, is going to look stupid. But he's got to combine that now. He's got to start thinking, well, all right, I'm making the run, but when I get there, what am I going to do with it?
United have the free kick. Over the ball is Pondeljak. Chipping it towards a Waratifi, who had to stretch. Baillie, though, was doing his job. Pondeljak has the corner. Waiting for the movement. He goes deep looking for Burt, who gets there in front of Juric, but the header was misdirected. Danny Burt. Sinozic comes away for Olympic. And it was Wilson there, just impeding the progress of Plesa. No doubt about the free kick right on the halfway line. Plesa starting to rediscover, if you like, the form he showed a couple of seasons ago. A very unhappy spell at Parramatta Power for Richie Plesa. Augerinos. Here's Halpin. Juric has drifted to the left-hand side. Now Owens. Well, the Belmore crowd just starting to get a little bit frustrated here, but you have to pay credit to United with the way they're just funneling back in defence, and onside is Pondeljak. In the middle, Arambašić. Pondeljak tries it, luck, Arambašić didn't know much about it, but the ball has ended up in the back of the net. Sheer delight for Arambašić, who scores against his old club. Harsh justice for Clint Bolton. A good ball from Awaratifi. Bolton thought he'd done enough as Pondeljak bore down upon him. But Zlatko Arambašić just stuck out a leg. 1-0 Sydney United.
I'm sure there's a lot of Sydney Olympic supporters asking the question of the assistant referee there, was it offside? We were in line, no it wasn't. That is a great save by Bolton. And that's why Arambašić and Awaratifi have scored so many goals, not only here but around the world, because they're Johnny on the spot.
So the Bravehearts take the lead in the local derby. And the crowd at Belmore stunned, really, by the turn of events. Zlatko Arambašić, goal number 4 of the season. I dare say Andy Harper, the one he'll enjoy the most.
Look, very much so, and beautifully executed counter-attack. Sydney Olympic, for once in the first half, dawdled in their possession a little bit. Elias Augerinos with the turnover in midfield. Awaratifi, 5 years ago, probably Awaratifi would have lit the afterburners and had to go himself from halfway, outpaced everyone, but a magnificent diagonal ball with his left foot to find Pondeljak, who you quite correctly said was onside, and they executed it from there really well. Sydney United, you couldn't say they don't deserve this. They've toiled well, and Sydney Olympic with the work to do now.
A rather hopeful ball into the middle there from Ante Juric. Got a time to score for United just before the break.
Scary to think that they've only scored 3 goals in the first half all season, so it's a rare thing that we've seen here at Belmore.
Augerinos obstructed by Kain Rastall, another United player up against his old club. It's a clear obstruction there, even though Rastall is shaking the head.
For those who are interested, they've scored 17 goals in the league, so to score 3 in the first half, it just shows you that this Sydney United side know how to come home.
Halpin with the free kick for Olympic. 8 blue shirts are in the middle as Tolios comes off his line to take the ball, but there's a flag up on the far side. Gench. Sinozic had to stretch. Pondeljak. Gench. Chance for number 2. Baillie, though, is in the way. 2 Sydney United players inside the 6-yard box. Arambašić and Awaratifi. So Olympic living dangerously. Rescued, though, by some good defending from Scott Baillie. It's a corner to United. And it comes from Gench. Won by Baillie. Goutzioulis tries to turn past Younis, but he keeps his feet and comes away with the ball. Still going, Younis. In the end, he just got tangled up. Trying to find the player on his right in Tom Pondeljak. Younis playing as a defender at the moment as the half-time whistle goes. And a very satisfying first half for the away side, Sydney United. The goal coming just before the break from Zlatko Arambašić. A well-worked opening crafted by Awaratifi, and then Tommy Pondeljak. Arambašić on the spot to score against his old club. Sydney Olympic perhaps feeling a little bit hard done by. Greg Owens has had 3 good opportunities, but he has been unable to find a way past Steve Tolios in that United goal. The half-time score at the Belmore Sports Ground is Sydney United 1, Sydney Olympic 0.
Welcome back to the Belmore Sports Ground. Quite a stunned Belmore Sports Ground. I don't think the fans can believe exactly what's happened. They're down 1-0. Sydney United really pinching it just before the half-time break. Well, I'm joined by Andy Harper on the sideline. Andy, is that how you see it? Did they pinch it, or were they worthy of a 1-0 lead at half-time?
Well, both. I think, you know, they've done their job well. Sydney Olympic had a lot of the play and some really good chances on goal themselves. But if you could second-guess Alan Hunter, I would imagine he's come into the game hoping to contain the firepower of Sydney Olympic and pinch them on the break. He's got the quality to do that. If they can contain Sydney Olympic in the second half, in Tom Pondeljak, Ante Genk, Awaratifi, and Zlatko Arambašić up front, of course, coming off the bench, Cummins as well, Cummins-Manapi. They've certainly got the firepower to upset Sydney Olympic, no doubt.
Well, I wonder if Alan Hunter be happy with these stats. They're certainly down on the number of shots on goal. You can see that Sydney Olympic are firing away. They just maybe haven't hit the target quite as much as Branko would have liked.
They haven't forced the saves, perhaps, that Branko would have liked, but I think they've been pretty impressive in the front third. Not as slick as we might have come to expect from Sydney Olympic, but that's a fairly high standard. Pablo Cardozo perhaps spending more time out of the penalty area than we're used to seeing, and if he could have assumed more familiar roles around that part of the field, some of those crosses might have ended up in the back of the net. But I think their shooting from distance has been a feature. I disagree with the comments you made and Mike made during the first half. I think Greg Owens' 3 efforts have been worthy ones. Yep. He missed narrowly twice and forced a good save on the 3rd one. But Sydney United, you have to pay credit. They've really covered the ground with all the effort and enthusiasm that their coach has asked for. And when the chances come for them, they've taken it. And congratulations to them. Well, in the 11th minute, let's have a look at Arambašić's chance. This is when we were talking about Danny Burt. That was a lovely through ball and his involvement. Does it seem to have tapered off as the half has gone on? Oh, by instruction, Alan Hunter is happy for Danny to get forward when the occasion arises, but he's equally happy for Danny to get back and defend and do the job for which ostensibly he's paid, and that is to block up the middle of the park for his team. A couple of times he's gone forward, it's done good things for his team, but not too often, I don't think so. We're not looking for anyway. What about the middle of the park? I'm trying to write down all the names and where they're playing and their functions. It seems to be a rotation system. When one of the Olympic players makes a run, another one fills it, and it doesn't really matter who it is, as long as somebody fills that space. That's certainly the way Branko likes to set his teams up. The little experience I've had with him, that's the way he moulds his squad, and it's taken him 3 or 4 years to get the players to his way of thinking, and we see the fruit of that, although they're down 1-0 at the moment. But a system where the players, the fluidity of position changes is really impressive, and each player knows what their role is in different parts of the ground, and it works. It's great to watch, and if you throw into that the types of qualities that those individuals have got, it makes a very exciting team to watch. And a nightmare for commentators. Well, when Greg Owens had this particular shot at goal, the number of shots were 8 shots to 2. And I guess that's what you're talking about. That was a worthy effort. Look, he didn't find the target. He didn't force a save. I don't disagree, by the way. But I think, look, I'd be happy with that, certainly the way I'm going at the moment. But Greg Owens, a wonderful talent. He's flourishing under the system here with Franco Collina. I think the 3 efforts, the first of which was that in the first half, I think were really worthy ones. He's not far off a goal. Sydney United will really want to watch Greg Owens.
What about up front? Francis Awaratifi and Zlatko Arambašić, back to their old ways or still a bit of improvement there?
Look, there's a lot of guile and wile about the way both of them play football. Great athletes, perhaps not as athletic as they once were, but that's abilities transferred into the head department in as much as they're playing the game with real brains, and they're causing all sorts of trouble for their opponents because they get into positions that are very difficult to cover. Releasing runners, Francis using his body, Zlatko timing his runs off the ball absolutely magnificently. They're a real handful, of both of them.
What about the involvement for the goal? It wasn't just an Arambašić tap-in, was it really? There was Awaratifi involved, Pondeljak was involved, and in the end it was Zlatko who just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, happily for this movement, as that picture shows, Tommy's first touch took him towards goal. So often we lament a player's poor first touch which takes them away from goal. That enabled him to zero in on goal, get a good strike, a great save from Bolton, and Zlatko Arambašić, the seasoned pro that he is, Johnny on the spot to clean up the crumbs. 1-0 Sydney United, an ecstatic bench. And that no one at the ground can really be that surprised with the way things have gone. It's been a good contest so far.
Well, Sydney Olympic fans, do not despair. If there's anybody that come from behind this season, it is Sydney Olympic. Twice so far, and we're not even halfway through the season. Back after this.
Welcome back to the Belmore Oval in Sydney. The score in the local derby, if you've just joined us, Sydney United leading Sydney Olympic 1-0. And the goal scorer, perhaps no surprise, Zlatko Arambašić, very keen to impress against his former club. Well, the Sydney Olympic fans have had a rough time of it of late. The team has just gone off the boil a little bit over the past month, but it's been a longer time between drinks for Sydney United. 9 games since they last tasted victory in round 3. Perhaps the omens provided by the return of Arambašić and Awaratifi together to that Sydney United front line. The strike force which started the season so well for the Bravehearts. Greg Owens, he had 3 shots in that first half. Unable though to find the target. So some work to do for Sydney Olympic in this second half. By the only goal of the game, and Franco Čulina, always with a card up his sleeve, may be about to use another one in the form of Krešimir Marušić. Marušić on the bench at the start of the game, and Marušić indeed will start the second half. So a 100th appearance in the National League for Krešimir Marušić, the player on your screen. 7 weeks he's been out of the side through injury, and a timely return indeed for Marušić against one of his former clubs. He will add even more skill and creativity into this midfield. So Marušić may have replaced Goutzioulis. Have to wait for confirmation of that change as Juric comes away with the ball for Olympic. Webb. Arambašić, the goal scorer. Webb. Difficult ball for Deur to control. Slides in, though, won by Owens. Marušić has it back. So it looks as though normal surface has resumed as well for Olympic in terms of Ante Juric. He's gone back into his more familiar role at the back, after spending the first half in midfield. So some alterations made by Branko Čulina as the home side chases the game. Halpin, Augerinos, Halpin. Carle, down he goes. The tackle came from behind, but it was well timed enough according to the referee. Halpin looking to release Owens at the back post, couldn't find the back. Well, down on the sideline, we have one player who had such an impact with Olympic last season. He's now joined the overseas exodus. Now with Feyenoord of Holland, it's Brett Emerton.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Well, Brett, formal welcome back to Australia.
Thanks very much. Nice to be here.
Now, you're going as well as we're hearing back here. Your form sounds like it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's things are going well for me. I'm playing in a very good team at the moment. We're leading the competition, so I think it makes it easy for myself to be playing well. So hopefully things continue to get better and better.
Some word on the internet today that Middlesbrough are interested in you. Tel wanting to keep the Australian contingent strong at Middlesbrough.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much the first I've heard of it. So yeah, there's a lot of rumours floating about at the moment, but hopefully one day, not so much in the near future, maybe next year or two, I can make a move and play in the Premier League.
The Premier League obviously is a destination that you're looking to arrive at, but what's life like briefly in Holland for us?
It's very cold, but I mean, I've gone there and all the boys in the team and that, they've been treated me really well, so it's been easy to fit in. The people are great and friendly, and the supporters are good as well. So life's been fairly easy for me since I've been there.
And just quickly in closing, how do your old teammates seem to be faring? You're impressed with what you've seen today?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fairly physical first half, and there was a few chances for both sides, so hopefully Olympic can put some of those chances away in the second.
All right, thanks a lot for your time, Brett. We wish you all the best in your future.
Thanks very much.
Wouldn't the Sydney Olympic like Brett Emerton out in the park right now, Paul Wade, chasing the game 1-0.
Absolutely. His ability to run at players, and not just 10 or 15 yards, we're talking 50 yards, 60 yards, as he did with the Socceroos against Scotland.
Indeed, the biggest cheer of the evening so far came when Brett said at half-time that he hopes to come back to Olympic and finish his career at the club where it all began. So genuine feeling, if you like, between Emerton and Sydney Olympic. He, though, has now moved on to bigger and better things with Feyenoord in Holland. And in the meantime, it's Olympic who have to chase the result here against their old rivals, Sydney United. Gench comes inside, goes for that right-hand corner. And a worthy attempt there from Ante Gench. He scored perhaps a similar goal last year in this fixture. We saw it at the start of the program.
Round 16, curled it right into the top corner, but he hit that one with the laces. A little bit more power on that occasion, but yeah, Clint Bolton hadn't got his hands to it, would have gone in the same spot.
So a very confident looking Sydney United side opening this second half. Pondeljak with the corner. Away from Bolton, and another superb save from Bolton to deny Danny Burt. Well, if Olympic are to get something out of this game, they're going to have a special thank you to this man in goals, Clint Bolton. 2 brilliant saves in quick succession.
But what a teepee in Arambašić. Again, looking for the crumbs, but it was such a good save, he palmed it away. I just wonder, you know, when you talk about the player of the year and everybody thinks about the strikers and the attacking midfielders, there have been so many good performances this season by goalkeepers, and I'm Petkovic, Bolton, so many class saves, I mean world-class saves that they must rate this year.
Here's Wilson. To cut it back, gets a second bite of the cherry. Owens, too far away. So a good response here from Olympic. Well, the news from the Sydney United camp, down on the sideline with Andy Harper, is the United goalkeeping coach, Tony Pisano.
Thanks, Mike. Well, Tony, an outstanding result for you people at the halfway stage, at least.
Half-time, super result for us. I mean, we started off a bit slow the first 20 minutes, but it evened out, and we had 1 or 2 chances first half. They did as well, but the way things have started second half, we're certainly cooking at the moment.
You're certainly giving as good as you're getting, and it's not as though you're sitting back absorbing pressure, but it was a great counter-attack for the goal, and you certainly do have the firepower in Gench Pondeljak, Waratifi and Arambašić to ping teams on the break?
Oh, the good thing about the way Alan's got this team happening is, you know, a draw's no good, and to lose isn't worth it, obviously. You've got to go out and hunt the result, and that's the only way that we can do it.
Shane Webb down the left-hand side is got a couple of difficult jobs because so many of the Olympic players are moving around, but he's handled himself particularly well in the first half.
Relatively obviously new to this level of football, but he's handling it better each game. Has got a sweet left foot. If we can get him involved with more balls, just before half-time he delivered a great near-post ball. We just didn't read it too well, but he's got a hard job in defence, but where he can really sort of apply pressure to them is going forward, obviously.
All right, Tony, we'll let you go and enjoy the second half, and thanks for your contribution.
Anytime, mate, anytime.
Here's Halpin for Olympic. He sprung the offside trap, and a chance here for Owens, and again he can't bring it under control. He says he was impeded. The referee has a different opinion. I'm no surprise with the way this game has opened up again in the second half. Olympic trying to force the pace, United giving as good as they get. Clint Bolton called into action. The two top-class saves in quick succession. And you have to say it's those saves from Bolton which has kept Olympic in this game.
Very much so. We expected Sydney United, or I did before the game, to run at this Sydney Olympic midfield and defence, and that's what's happened in the first 10 minutes, and they've had two very good strikes on goal. You've got to get past world-class goalkeepers before you can register anything in this game.
Clint Bolton, in his first season with Olympic, of course spent most of his career, or all of his career so far, with the Brisbane Strikers. And it's going to be an interesting selection process for the national team, the World Cup qualifiers coming up in April, and Franco Parisi probably going to pick his goalkeepers from the National League. Clint Bolton has to be a big chance as Danny Burt gets a word from the referee. Yes, Clint Bolton, the Petkovic brothers as well. Well, he always gives plenty, doesn't he, Danny Burt? Diving in here on Marušić, who just hurdled the challenge. He saw it coming. Free kick to Olympic. Marušić almost finding Baillie, and then arriving late was Pablo Cardozo.
I think this is going to be a real test of imagination for Branko Collina's team. I know they've been moving them around in that first half, but the longer this game goes on, the more Sydney United are going to drop back. And on that occasion, there were 10 players plus a goalkeeper standing on the edge of the 18-yard box. There was only Zlatko Arambašić up front. They're going to be very hard to break down through the middle of the ground. And it's up to the likes of Krešimir Marušić and Halpin to do some little bit of magic to open them up.
Gench. Just looking for a Waratifi in the middle, but too much on the pass from Ante Juric.
I'll tell you who's not looking 100% comfortable at the moment, Mike and Paul, and that's Ante Juric. He has moved into the defensive line, a more familiar role of sweeping, but he's certainly favouring his right leg.
Ante Juric, that first half challenge in midfield, I think it was with Danny Burt, might have ended up the worse for wear, and be that Damon Collina will have to come off the bench for Olympic. Well, Damon Collina has played all over the park for Olympic, but Franco Čulina in no doubt that his best position is in defence. There's Ante Juric on the left of your picture, keeping a close eye on Waratifi. Plesa chips the ball in the direction of his striker. Juric wins it in the air, but you can clearly see he is in trouble, Ante Juric. I dare say he won't be on this park for much longer. Just hobbling around. Throw to Olympic. 57 minutes gone, no change to the half-time scoreline, which reads Sydney United 1, Sydney Olympic 0. Olympic have brought on Marušić for his 100th appearance in the National Soccer League and liven things up somewhat. No doubt about the creativity out there in the blue shirts at the moment. Owens, Marušić, Halpin, Carle. Cardozo as well. So they do have the players to put pressure on this Sydney United defence. The question is whether they can convert their opportunities. Pondeljak brings down Marušić. It's a free kick for Olympic. Pondeljak turns 25 tomorrow, as indeed does Richie Plesa. And Cardozo having a good look at this one. 4 in the wall for United. And it comes from Cardozo. Arambašić against Baillie. Warren Tipi is there as well. Halpin. He rides one challenge, the advantage played by the referee. Carle gets the call from Wilson, and the early cross from Wilson, though, was disappointing. It was the right idea to take the cross first time. There were players in the middle, but unfortunately for Lindsay Wilson, unable to get either over the ball or around it.
Here against Wollongong that they used Lindsay Wilson as an outlet. In the second half, they got themselves back into the game after being torn apart in the first half, and that might be the imagination that they're looking for or need. Just make sure that Lindsay Wilson goes every single time, but it needs Greg Owens to stay out of the way and give him that room to run into.
Good run this from Halpin. Carle has Augerinos to his left, but the pass was just behind Augerinos, who has to check. It's the ball into the near post. There's the support. Augerinos again trying to get the return from Cardozo, but some brave defending there from Rastall for United. Andy Upper, I just wonder the situation with Ante Juric. He's obviously in trouble. He's glanced over to the sideline a few times, and they just seem to be taking a fair while to make the change, Olympic.
Look, it doesn't look like there's any change on the horizon for them, and they're obviously going to see either if Ante can run this injury off or just play with it for the rest of the game. Perhaps that's a measure of how important he is to this team. But Sydney United, they're weathering the storm. Using the term advisedly, they haven't been under immense pressure, but they're scrambling well, they're covering the territory well. Troy Halpin is really emerging as the trump for Sydney Olympic if they can get a couple of players working off him.
Cardozo brings it down, turns, shot on target, blocked by Younis. Right, Younis just taking a while to hobble back into position for United. Gench happy to run at the Sydney Olympic defence. And he just ran out of room, I think, Gench. Younis, he's hobbling. Juric likewise for Olympic. Oh, Younis in big trouble. He'll have to go off, you would imagine. Younis. I wonder if Olympic will take the opportunity to provide some treatment for Ante Juric at the same time. Younis just clutching that left leg. Injury caused when he just blocked that shot.
Ante's not going over there to tell Branko. He's looking at him now. So they obviously know there's a problem, but Ante's saying, hang on, I'm the skipper of this team. I'll go down with the ship.
That's a calf problem for Younis. United do have a defender in Terry Palapanis on the bench. This is the incident. Just the force perhaps of that shot from Cardozo. Maybe a cork for Younis, but by the looks of things, Andy Harper, I don't think he'll be taking any further part in this game.
No, he's just waved himself out. Terry Palapanis is waiting on halfway now. The substitution will be executed, and if there's a terrier playing in the National League that's more so than Terry Palapanis, I haven't seen him. He's not going to let his team down in the remainder of this second half.
So Palapanis on for United. Off goes Younis with injury. A straight swap for the Bravehearts.
Number 21,
Palapanis and Burt the markers. Plesa the sweeper. Deur. Still going, Ante Deur all the way to the edge of the area. And Sinozic finally got across to block the shot as Arambašić tried to pick up the crumbs. Well, that was a good 30-40 metre burst from Ante Deur. Carle just couldn't keep up with him. And that was difficult for Arambašić, the ball just spinning away from him as he took the shot. Halpin dropping deeper and deeper. Marušić. The idea was good for Marušić, but the execution wasn't. Rastall in quickly for United. Now Genç. It's having a big impact on this game, I take Genç. Skipper of United. Asking the question of the likes of Arambašić as well. Leading by example. Here's Wilson. Prepared to take on Deur, and Control let him down, Lindsay Wilson. Good work though from Deur, didn't commit himself, didn't dive in, just jockeyed him towards the byline.
Well, I'm often told in commentary, keep it simple, stupid, the KISS method, and I think on that occasion, Lindsay Wilson would have been advised just to do what he needed to do, and he knew what to do the first time he got it, and that's put it in the 18-yard box. To start complicating it and taking players on, taking a touch 5 yards from the byline, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Plesa. Chips it towards Awaratifi. Again, Juric is in the way. Andy Harper, you really do have to ask the question regarding Ante Juric. He's obviously not 100%. He's a risk for Olympic to persevere with him.
Well, I was just thinking, that's turned into a battle of wits. Ante was sweeping, now he's gone into a position where he's sole duty is to marshal Francis Waratifi, and I don't think that's a bad move. If Branko's going to keep him on the field, then Francis isn't making a habit of covering a lot of territory at the moment. It's just the quality of the work that he's doing in the areas that he covers. And Ante, not so mobile because of the injury, but perhaps certainly has the physique to look after Francis and is equally intelligent in football terms. So perhaps not a bad move from Branko, and he's saving his last 2 aces until he feels he really needs them.
The only problem with that, Andy, is that if he has got an injury and he's making it worse, then it rolls on to next week and the week after.
Well, it depends on the nature of the injury, and the Olympic officialdom are far better equipped with the information to deal with that. But we're just punters on the sideline trying to guess what's going on out there.
Marušić. Wilson. To the edge of the area, and the header from Owens is on target, but unfortunately straight at the goalkeeper. Wilson has done well. Cardozo. Carle. Still going, Nicky Carle. A good, strong, brave, committed challenge, though, from Deur. Wins it back for United. Pondeljak looking to release Arambašić, and Bolton outside of the area in the end. Forced to make the clearance.
United are getting a little bit more possession in the middle of the park, and I just wonder if it's because Greg Owens is now playing in an out-and-out striking role. You've got Pablo Cardozo and Nicky Carle up there. Now Greg Owens as well. It just leaves a little bit more space in the middle of the park, and when you give Ante Juric that much room, and Tommy Pondeljak, they'll make it work to their advantage.
Well, very tidy defending from Baillie. The ball back for Olympic. They look as though they're going to make another change. Not the one we were anticipating. As Wilson comes away on this right-hand side. Shapes for the cross. Webb's overdoing it, but he gets the bounce of the ball. Lindsay Wilson, the header from Augerinos! Elias Augerinos has pulled one back for Olympic. A very, very good player in the air. He wasn't going to squander that opportunity. The cross from Wilson was inch perfect, and Elias Augerinos, the 7th goal of their very long career.
I thought he'd messed it up here, Lindsay Wilson. He got the lucky break, and he didn't complicate it there. That's the 2nd cross that he's actually pulled way back from the goalkeeper. We saw one earlier with Greg Owens, and he headed it straight into the goalkeeper. But that was a pinpoint header. That had all the power in the world on it.
Well, not a lot of emotion for Elias Augerinos, but inside he will be a very happy man indeed. His first start of the season, and he has found the net at a crucial moment in the local derby. It's all tied up between United and Olympic. Sinozic conceding the free kick. Well, Bolton asking the question. Caught napping there, Olympic. It's the corner.
Oh, I can't believe how casual that was. Bolton was lining up the wall, and he was on the other side. Very quick thinking from Sydney United.
meantime, Parisi has come on for Olympic, and now there is going to be another change from United.
Substitution made by Sydney United, number 18.
And it's Ante Deur to make way for Goran Talevski. And Talevski, another graduate of the AIS, like Parisi. So AIS continuing to produce an exciting young talent for Australia. It's Pondeljak. First touch for Talevski, and what a strike from him as well. What an impact from the substitute. Bursting into the area and just missing the target.
You could see the torment written all over Francis Awarativi's face. He'd made good position. Danny Burt was in there. There were a couple of other red shirts who'd made good position on the penalty spot. But he had every right to have a go from there. When you're that close to goal, it only needs a deflection. Goalkeeper to come off the near post, and it's in the back of the net.
Alan Hunt has just cast his eye over my shoulder. I think he wanted him to cut it back as well.
Yeah.
Here's Owens. Forced away by Rastall. Now Juric. Sinozic. Parisi. Juric. Gets it back from Wilson. And the shoulder charge from Burt. Unceremonious. Very close to being inside the area as well. Well, if Ante Juric wasn't in trouble beforehand, he is now. Genç comes away for United. Still going, Ante Genç. And in the end, he took the wrong option with players in the middle.
If you ever want to know how to defend, take that example there from Sinozic. He didn't commit himself. That's it. I'll tell you what, if that was in the middle of the park, you might have given a free kick there.
Danny Burt never too far away from controversy, is he? Andy Harper, penalty or not?
The pitches do a better service than the limits of my vocabulary.
Oh, come on, Andy, get off the fence.
Pondeljak. Owens. It's a lovely ball from Owens to pick out Cardozo. Looking for the late run from Owens. It will be throw to United. 15 minutes left. It's Olympic 1, United 1. Greg Owens heavily involved in most of the best moves for Olympic, but he just can't find a way past Tolios in that United goal. Parisi. Halapanis does well. The use of the body from Terry Halapanis.
That incident might give Olympic some hope, albeit after it, of course, Ante Genç broke away up the field, but Olympic, now they might use that to spur them on, perhaps some very valid claims for a penalty. It's certainly a very strong challenge from Danny Burt, and they might get a roll on from that Olympic. They've certainly got the firepower, as we've talked about almost ad nauseum, to really do the damage.
Marušić, and a collision between the goalkeeper and Cardozo, and a few of the United players a little bit upset with the way that Cardozo slid in there. No hard feelings between the two.
That's the magic. That's the magic I was talking about from Halpin or Marušić. That lovely little ball, keeping possession, threading a pinpoint pass. Maybe a little bit, obviously a little bit too far forward, but that's the sort of vision you need from those two midfielders if you're going to break down this red wall.
Alan Hunter hoping to secure a result here. It's been a tough road for United over the last 9 weeks or so. Their away form in particular has been a source of concern. 4 consecutive losses away from home until the draw in Newcastle last week. Back at home next weekend against the Eastern Pride, so they hope to set something up with a result here against Olympic. It's Pondeljak almost puts United back in front, and the second chance fell to Shane Webb, but that finish was rather disappointing. Pondeljak with the first effort. It's hard to tell whether that was going wide, but Juric did what he had to.
Now Scott Baillie on the line there, Mike, and I think it was going in. A good interception from Scott Baillie as Olympic make the change. Again, it's not the one we're expecting, and I can tell you from the sideline, it's not the one Ante Juric is expecting, because Pablo Cardozo has made way for Damon Collina, and there was a certain degree of sign language from Ante Juric towards the bench, just asking exactly what was going on.
So maybe Ante Juric will just have to persevere, even though he is obviously in trouble. It's an interesting game being played between the captain and the coach there, Paul White.
Indeed. Well, when you're looking at the manager and you're asking him what's going on, there must be something dreadfully wrong with him, and that's why I'm concerned that it's not only this week, it's next week and the week after. You know, when you try your hardest to stay out there for the team and you're the skipper and all of that, it can really do you some more damage than it's really worth. But this is the time of the game last year at Belmore when all the goals were scored, inside 15, 20 minutes.
Pondeljak again causing a few anxious moments for Olympic. Yeah, there looks to be a problem with Sinozic, so they're in the wars. Olympic. Juric struggling. Sinozic a bit slow to get to his feet. Halpin. A lot on offer for Troy Halpin. He wants to go and run himself. In the end, he ran into Plesa. Waratifi caught late, perhaps, by Wilson. There's Olympic break back through Marušić, and off the ball there has been a collision between Burt and the player on the ground. And it has been spotted by the assistant referee, Damon Collina. So the two officials conferring here. Collina is still down. 10 minutes left. And the referee now comes across to the middle. Let's have a look at what happened. Did we catch this one with our cameras? You can see here, just off the camera, and it looks like a headbutt from Danny Burt, so he's the one called out by Simon Micallef. And Micallef is just saying, I'm the one in charge here. Collina is posing the question.
Well, I condone everything about Danny Burt, his attitude, his commitment, but that is an absolute disgrace, and he's a very lucky man to be still on the park right now. Maybe the linesman thought they might have run into each other, but as the pictures show, that was a definite headbutt. Take that, new man on the ground. Make sure he knows he's in a contest.
Well, the temperature rising here at Belmore. Burt, obviously rather fortunate to still be on the park. Of course, the referee does not have the benefit of the television replay.
Well, if this was another code of football, there would be video evidence and he might be dragged up in front of the tribunal on Monday. But we're not into that in this code of football at the moment.
Pondeljak forced back towards Plesa, and here is Gench. Arambašić dispossessed by Baillie, and offside against Damon Collina. Very versatile player, isn't he, Damon Collina? Coach Branko Čulina insists that he is ultimately a defender, but at the moment he is playing up front, having come off the bench to replace Cardozo. Čulina. On Burt, there's Owens. Superb tackle there from Plesa. And an equally good one as well from Kain Rastall. Halpin.
We look forward to seeing you in our next home match on Sunday the 4th of February at 6:30 p.m.
And the return from Collina just overhit, but he's having an impact, Collina. Troy Halpin as well, trying to make things happen for Olympic. Time starting to run out for the home team if they want to get all 3 points.
I think if I was Damon Collina, I'd try and isolate Danny Burt on his own. Now that the pressure's on him, now that the focus has been on him for all the wrong reasons, the last thing he needs is backup from Richard Plesa. If Damon Collina can get him one-on-one, having the fresh legs.
Wilson, Collina, Parisi. Crucial save there from Tolios. Well, a super sub Franco Parisi unable to convert there. A golden opportunity. Here's Baillie. Whips it in. The header from Wilson was disappointing, but it's charge of the Light Brigade stuff now from Olympic. It's going to be a very interesting last 5 minutes of this game. A good build-up here from Olympic. The ball broke for Parisi, and that is a very, very good save from the goalkeeper. And top of the shirt there. And a card for his troubles for Kain Rastall. Pretty obvious. Marušić just getting in front. That's the free kick. Owens wins it in the air. Cleared by Halpin towards Arambašić. And Webb just unable to keep that one in play. Here's Rastall. And the flag is up for offside, but that was certainly the wrong option from Kain Rastall. He had two players to his left, and he tried to play it through the middle. Marušić. Augerinos. Cleared by Plesa. Pondeljak keeps it in play. Arambašić tries to take on Baillie for speed. He might have the speed, but he doesn't have the power. Baillie just held his ground, did his job. Owens. Tired pass really from Greg Owens. And Juric there bravely sliding in. Well, he is wearing his heart on his sleeve here, Ante Juric. Very courageous performance. And he's going to feel it later on this evening, whatever the problem is. Just wonder, Andy Harper, whether Francis Augerinos might be doing a bit more to move Ante Juric around the park.
It's a good point, Mike. You know, Francis, over the years, one of his real attributes has been his blinding pace. And perhaps he could have used that a little more tonight, certainly in the second half with Ante struggling so much. But it's also a matter of the possession that his teams hadn't been able to get to him, and that hasn't been in an overabundance by any means. Offside against
Collina. Tolios in a hurry to get things going. Here's Webb. Marušić. And a chance here for Collina. What a strike from the substitute! Damon Collina! Is that the match winner for Sydney Olympic? Damon Collina may have had the last laugh.
Well, I think that's a good epitaph for the second half, Mike. He certainly copped that headbutt which went unseen, and Burt, who's had a great couple of weeks in football terms, lucky to stay on the field. Certainly that's the way the pictures have revealed it, but a great little dink over the top from Troy Halpin, who on his first game back from a long time has done wonderfully well. And what a great finish from a boy, Damon Collina, who's come off the bench. Absolutely great finish to perhaps seal the points for his team here.
Damon Collina, just the second goal he scored in the National League, and it may be enough to win the game, although don't count on that just yet. Sydney United have a corner. Augerinos now in trouble, so they're the walking wounded Sydney Olympic. Pondeljak in a hurry to take it. Look at that corner count. It doesn't tell the story, though. It's the scoreboard which matters, and it reads Olympic 2. United 1. As we go into time added on, and Micallef has to sort out problem here between Marušić and Kain Rastall. And United want to make a change. Cummins Manapi, well, he has a reputation as a super sub. Manapi, he replaces Shane Webb, but he hasn't got a lot of time to work his magic. The Solomon Islander had the haircut as well during the week. Cummins Manapi. Then it comes from Pondeljak. Cleared by Halpin. And Plesa with a blatant shove in the back, concedes the free kick. Collina onside. Parisi against the keeper. Parisi has slotted it. 2 goals from the substitutes in the dying stages has surely won the game for Olympic. What a turnaround. Twice now, Olympic have sprung the offside trap. First fell to Collina, the second to Parisi, an equally good finish. And Olympic, you would imagine, are back on track.
Sydney Olympic 3.
Andy Harper.
Sydney United 1.
Andy's the ball at the moment. Franco Parisi, what a tidy finish indeed. He's only been at the club for 6 weeks or so since leaving the Australian Institute of Sport, and that is his 3rd goal in 4 appearances. So, looks as though it'll be another fruitless excursion for United. Disappointing for them, very disappointing indeed, and how crucial to those saves early in the second half from Clint Bolton. Look now, a shake of the head from Richie Plesa. Halpin. And Halpin, an audacious attempt from Troy Halpin from just in the Sydney United half of the field. It's going to be a corner for United. Well, they have the 2-goal cushion, Olympic, so they can relax just a little bit. Disappointing for United, Arambašić in particular. He scored against his old club, and they've come from the clouds, really, Olympic. And it's the final whistle, greeted by a huge cheer around the Belmore Oval. Damon Collina played his part. So too did Franco Parisi, the 2 substitutes scoring in the dying stages as Olympic came from behind to secure a victory which pushes them back into 4th place on the National League ladder. They had to do it the hard way. United led early through Arambašić, but Olympic coming home through 3 of their less celebrated players. The final score at Belmore, Olympic 3, United 1. Yes, a night to remember for Elias Augerinos, Damon Collina and Franco Parisi. As Olympic, with a draw and a loss in their last 2 outings, get themselves back in the winner's circle. A gutsy effort from them, in particular the likes of Ante Juric, who played with an injury for most of that second half. United terribly disappointed. It was a courageous display from United, at times a very impressive one as well. Clint Bolton with 2 important saves may have provided the difference. We'll now go down to the sideline and Paul Wade.
Thank you very much, Mike Cockle. Yes, I had down here on the sideline Greg Owens. Greg, that was a tremendous performance on the eve of going to the under-20s.
Yeah, it was a great performance. Now it's good to come back from 1-0 down. You know, we just had to work hard in the second half and try and get our 2 goals. And you know, full credit to the boys. We had Halpin there. We just, you know, come on and change the game for us, you know.
We were trying to work out what sort of system you were playing, and it was so confusing. Everybody was running everywhere. Was there any sort of system there?
Yeah, he sort of like wanted me to push forward, making runs into the box, and dragging a few players across with me. But you know, it's good effort from the boys to get up 3-1, you know.
Is that something you've worked on, your runs? Because your timing of your runs is superb.
Yeah, well, I'm not too good with the ball, so I've got to, you know, play to my game, and that's making runs in behind defenders. And I just got to try and capitalise more on my finishing and practice when I get back to training.
Good on you, Greg. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck. Greg Owens, who sets off with the under-20s. Well, it's a horrible time for Richie Plesa. Sometimes, I don't know, can you explain what's going on there at Sydney United? That's 10 games without a victory now.
I'm speechless after that, Wadey. I thought we were doing well. first half 1-0 up, everything was going to plan, and I think we tried to keep that result. We sat back maybe too much. They threw men forward, and they just threw too many men forward, and we couldn't deal with it.
What did you feel as the sweeper, that the players were dropping back too far? Were you trying to get them out?
I mean, we're just trying to keep ourselves safe, like have an extra man at the back, keep man on everyone, and try to keep them out. But it's just a barrage, and it was just too much at the end. And then they scored their first one, then the second, and the rest is history.
Richie, thanks very much for your time. It's a miserable time to be a footballer, especially at Sydney United at the moment. As Richie says, you know, they were playing so well for so long, Andy.
Look, I thought they did a good job, but they got pinged on a couple of occasions. Late in the game, it should be said too. You know, the sting in the tail didn't come until the 89th, 90th minute, and then injury time with the third goal. They were good goals in execution, though. Alan Hunter and the Sydney United team are very disappointed with the third one. Really believe it was offside. I didn't get a good look at the tape because my monitor was taken away to look after you, Paul. But look, it was a great derby match. I think there was plenty in it. A lot of physical contests, a lot of controversy to go with that as well. A heated crowd at times, very vocal, good action on the field, and a good result too for football.
Let's have a look at the two goals that really sealed it for Sydney Olympic. It was Collina really breaking the back there of Sydney United. They just broke that maybe a little bit too flat. Maybe Richie Plesa trying to push up.
Perhaps so, and caught a little square on both those goals. Great finish from Damon Collina, and a wonderful piece of composure from Franco Parisi, who, according to that footage, appeared to be onside, but did execute the finish magnificently. A young player straight out of the Institute's done really well.
I guess it shows very quickly that Sydney Olympic do have good engines. That's the third time they've come from behind for a victory.
Plenty of quality in this team. They can go behind, but they've got the quality to get themselves back into the game. And they're a great team to watch. You're talking about marketing the game, and there's no better marketing tool than a side that plays good football, and Sydney Olympic are one of the teams in the competition that certainly fall into that category.